Hello, my fellow empathic healers. The journal prompt for today: do you feel anger or resentment when you don't get everything that you need? So, our self care challenge, we talk about forgiveness and heart chakra energy today. So, in this video, I will guide you along the journaling process to check in with yourself to increase your self awareness, assess your energy, and align with the source of unconditional love. Welcome to the self-love movement. It is my deepest belief if we all loved ourselves enough, suicide wouldn't be a thing. If you are new to me, my name is Robin Knott, and I teach energy healing methods with a strong focus on self-care, self-worth, and self-love in order to break old programs like codependency without feelings of blame, shame, or guilt. So again, are you ready to dig a little deeper? Grab your journal and journal with me. Got mine ready right here. Again, today we're going to talk about forgiveness, also transformation, and heart chakra energy, because all of that affects our heart chakra energy. If you're keeping track of days, we're on like 39, I think, in this round, in this, lost the word, season, if you will. So remember, when we're journaling, we get in that mode. I actually write down like energy healing lifestyle journal, self-care challenge. I break down because self-care is an acronym, right? So today we're looking at the letter F in self for self-care, which is for forgiveness in my acronym. I also incorporate my other acronym of best you, and T for transformation. Forgiveness is very transformational, right? And again, this all occurs in the heart chakra. So assessing our heart chakra energy. Purpose of our journaling is to increase our self-awareness. So be aware, assess, and align, right? Aware of ourselves, where we're at, checking in, assessing our energy to see if it's in alignment with the source of unconditional love. And if not, taking that action step, doing this journaling process to help us shift into and align with the source of unconditional love. Then I write down the journal prompt and then I sit with it, right? So when you write down the journal prompt, you're asking yourself that question, and then you wait a moment and you allow yourself to answer just by listening and writing and checking in with whatever shows up, even if it seems way out in left field, right? Because that's the way we clear the fog out of the way. Just let it come up, however it's flowing, until we get to what helps us identify the answer to our question, our journal prompt. So as I was journaling on this particular one, do you feel anger or resentment when you don't get everything you need? Again, oftentimes other questions will come up. There's situations too, right? So even though you'll hear more of this, I talked about it for a while and I stopped talking about it. I shifted my focus a little bit and bringing it all back in because it doesn't leave me, right? I always get reminders and those synchronicities that a big part of my journey that I'm bringing here to help other people move through has to do with patterns of codependency. And I'm going to say it that way because it's not about labeling or quote unquote diagnosing or shoving ourselves in a box, right? But there are common patterns that fall under codependency that I do want to bring to the forefront because, one, my own journey, obviously, I wish I had someone who could help me through those things more than what I had in my journey. I didn't realize a lot of things that fell under that term of codependency. I didn't know what it meant. And then as I learned and I went through some of those patterns, it was very eye-opening for me. I think there's that word, one could be misunderstood of what it actually means because it is kind of a weird name or a weird term when you think about it and what it actually is. And two, it's like an elephant in the room. Like, ooh, nobody wants to say they have codependency or that they're codependent. It's like an icky label or an icky title, right? Heck with that. Just we're shining light on, aren't we? Calling stuff out, calling it what it is so we can address it. Let's just get over it. Not over it, but get over that part of it, like leaping over that boundary, or not boundary, but barricade. I think that's the word I'm looking for, like a barricade. The things that keep blocking us, because if we don't just call it out for what it is, we're just going to stay stuck in the cycle of it, right? We shine the light on the stuff, pulling things out of the darkness so that we can address it, so we can transmute it, we can heal from it and move forward with it. And again, I wish that I had more. I did a lot of learning on my own, and I did a lot of learning on my own just through my humanness. So my humanness self, without even really bringing in that source of unconditional love, without even bringing in my spirituality to try to address it. So it made it, the perspectives very limiting, to be fair. Again, I've mentioned before, it's like my ego was trying to argue with my ego, right? Instead of my ego having an opportunity to show me what needed to be healed, and then allowing my soul, spirit, self, that source of unconditional love, meet my ego, which occurs in the heart chakra, with love and compassion, to be able to move through and transmute and heal what was triggering the patterns from the ego to begin with, right? So I want to be able to help anyone else who might be in the same situation I was in, and we'll do that through this journaling process and some additional benefits as well, like the Empathic Healers Masterclass when we talk about boundaries. If you have patterns of codependency, you're probably lacking some boundaries, right? You might need some help setting boundaries and protecting your energy. Also, I'm pre-launching a new 5-day challenge called Be You. So again, if you have patterns of codependency, you might have those feelings of where you have lost yourself, right? When you just feel like you lost yourself because you're so focused on everyone else, and that desire to want to help and heal the world, right? Which is beautiful. Don't want to give that up. But there's a way we can do that. Another acronym, best you, right? And the best version of you, meaning that best energy, that best unconditional love for all, for us, without leaving ourselves out cold, but also without getting so jaded where you feel like it's a, screw everybody and all about me, because that's very human ego-ness too. But with all that part being said, let me continue on the journal prompt. So do you feel anger or resentment when you don't get everything you need? Again, we have talked about the difference between the wants and the needs, right? So I really want to focus on the needs part. Yeah, we're going to focus on the needs part. So what came up for me was sometimes that anger directed within, right? Myself. In those moments when you're recognizing choices that you make, and then you feel like you kick yourself in the bucket, right? Like, why did I choose to do that? Now I can't do this, right? I had great intentions to try to be helpful, but now I'm sacrificing things that I actually need. Becoming a caretaker, not being able to work outside the home, finances, paying bills, these are my responsibility, things I need to take care of, things like that. Directing it within, checking with yourself, or doubting yourself in decisions that you make could then also bring in some of that anger. Resentment, I feel like, comes more when we project it outwards, right? If you, as we look at other people, if you would help me when I asked, I wouldn't be dealing with this, and now I'm feeling resentful towards you. Or for the people that we might have in our lives that come towards us a lot for things, right? I need your help, I need your help, I need your help, I need your help. And we try to be there to help, to help, to help. And our things are being neglected as we do that, right? Because we don't have boundaries where right? So again, forgive me, I laugh at myself. But so we neglect the things that we need to do because we're tied up in trying to help other people. And then that resentment comes in. Now I'm either mad at myself because I chose to put myself, my stuff on the back burner, or I'm resentful towards the other person because it just won't stop coming at me, right? Like it's their fault. I didn't set my boundaries. It's their fault that I put my stuff aside. It's their fault that I prioritize their wants or needs over my own. It could be challenging, right? And I don't want to say it's hard. It can be a challenge to recognize because who wants to admit it's hard to show up and say, I don't have boundaries, or I didn't have boundaries, or I'm mad at you because I don't have boundaries, right? But again, we don't have to share that out with everyone. I'm showing up to share it because I feel like I need to. Again, I wish somebody would have showed up and shared it, or I found someone who showed up and shared it when I needed it. So here we are. What else? Check in my journal as we do. The values and priorities. I have some chicken scratch here. Let me see if I can read through it. The resentments projecting out to others. Blame, shame, and guilt can go inward or outward. Oh, it can even show up in like envy or jealousy. That came up too. So maybe we think we're doing fine until we see, scroll on Facebook or something and someone sharing vacation pictures, and you're like, oh, they're out living their best life, and here I am because of the choices I made. But, right, so the mind can start chattering. You could be on vacation if, right? Or must be nice that you get to go on vacation. I'm stuck here doing blah, blah, blah. Just saying, and the humanness, when the humanness shows up, those type of thoughts could come with it. It's not about blame, shame, and guilt. It's just being aware, right? Aware, assess, and align. Are those types of thoughts in alignment with the source of unconditional love? No, of course not. Not towards ourselves or other people. So it's just that awareness so we can check in, recognize it. Because if we don't check in and recognize it, then it just gets on a hamster wheel and just repeats and repeats and repeats and trickles down, trickles down, trickles down, and gets worse and worse and worse, right? But when we can call it out quietly to ourselves if we like, and not everybody has to jump on a video and share it outward. I think we should start a trend. Let's do it. But if not, you can journal quietly within yourself or for yourself, right? But be honest with yourself. That's the transformation, is when we are honest with ourselves, when we call it out, right? Call it out for what it is. So then we can change it. And then we can say, oh, wait a minute, right? This is not in alignment with the source of unconditional love. Stop the blame, shame, and guilt, inward and or outward, right? I have to beat myself up. I don't have to beat other people up either, verbally, mentally, in my mind. But stopping the hamster wheel in the mind and then switching that, right? And bringing it up, refocusing. Trisha, if you happen to watch this, thank you for commenting on the post today when I just posted the journal prompt. Shifting that focus of gratitude, being grateful for all the things we do have, right? There could be a list of 10 things that we do have, and then we tend to focus on the one we don't. And it depends on what that one thing is, right? Of course, we have values, priorities. There's like a hierarchy of needs. If I don't have a warm roof over my head and winter's coming, that's a pretty big one, right? That's a pretty big one to not have. So looking at that, but still also refocusing on and not losing sight of the things that we do have and having gratitude for that. And then taking steps so we're not just caught in that hamster wheel of negative thinking. What can I do? So if I didn't have a warm place to stay, what's something I can do to get in alignment with the source of unconditional love? Ask for help. Whether it's, staying at a friend's house, a family member's house, or asking on how to get help with benefits. What benefits are available? Is there shelter available? Are there programs available? Whatever it looks like. Making phone calls or reaching out in some way or another to have those needs met, right? Because again, if we just stay stuck in the cycle, we just stay stuck in the cycle. But if we call it out, we get honest with ourselves, then we can do something better for ourselves, which then ultimately leads to better for others. Yeah? So forgiveness in the heart chakra is massive. Forgiving myself for choices that I make that might get in the way of having my needs met. Forgiving other people if something is done, right? Sometimes people do things that, like stealing something is what I was thinking. Stealing something so needs can't be met, or whatever need I had is now gone, right? Damage to someone's home. You get what I'm saying? Maybe there is forgiveness to others as well. But that allows us to shift upward, as I say, shift up into the higher vibrational energies, closer to the source of unconditional love when we allow that forgiveness to occur, whatever that looks like for you. That was a lot. So, yet again, if you have not already signed up for the Empathic Healers Masterclass, a step-by-step guide to set boundaries and protect your energy, please do that, or let me know in the comment section so I can get you the link to that. And also, again, it's pre-launch, but if you are interested in the 5-day challenge, which I call Be You, because again, if you have ever felt like you've lost yourself, or you still feel like you lose yourself, or you're over-focused on everyone else, or you get caught up in people-pleasing, or you're aware of any other patterns of codependency you would like to break, then let me know in the comments, and I will let you know how to. Actually, I'm offering a discount for the pre-launch. So if you want some information on that, let me know, and continue, of course, as always, to check in with you, take care of yourself, continue your journaling process. You can share in the comments also how it's going for you in the journaling process, what comes up for you, and how you're taking care of you. And I will see you on the next video tomorrow. Take good care. Bye, guys.